Well, hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Coffee with Stephen. So, this week's blog is entitled, "We Are Here to Kill the Hippos." And for those of you who are Disney aficionados, you may recognize the alliteration. This directly relates to the Jungle Cruise. And again, as many of you know, for several years in my youth, I was a Jungle Cruise skipper. And actually, that's not an entirely accurate way of phrasing my time at Disneyland. I started off on the Jungle Cruise. Ultimately, I ended up working all the attractions in Adventureland and Frontierland. My favorite summer was on the Mark Twain. But my home attraction, if you will, was in fact the Jungle Cruise. And there was an individual that was there that I introduce you to in the blog. His name was Vern Burton. Now, before I go into the caricature, and it's a caricature of Vern, I should tell you that part of the reason why I wrote the blog this week was sort of an examination that I am going through on my personal heroes throughout my life. And Vern was definitely one of them. One of the things that I've learned when we look at heroes is that oftentimes we do look at them in an extraordinarily one-dimensional context. They're caricatures. They're people that we imbue with a certain level of gravitas or audacity. And we look at them and we try to learn from them. This is part of the human condition. But we also sort of intuitively know that human beings are human beings. And as a result of that, they have flaws and they have issues. And oftentimes what they do is irrational. And they're, in many respects, just like us. But if we look at them as individual human beings with all of these character flaws and everything else, they lose that heroic status. Vern, I am completely convinced, was as troubled an individual as I am. But as a 16-year-old kid working on the Jungle Cruise, for those of you who don't know, you have to be 18 to work on the Jungle Cruise, but I lied about my age. I had a fake ID, and I was able to use that to secure the job at Disneyland. And I'm sure that the Walt Disney Corporation is thrilled to hear about that. But in any event, as a 16-year-old kid, looking at this magnificent comedian, Vern Burton, he became my hero. Vern was probably in his late 20s or early 30s at the time that I met him. And he was, in my opinion, the ultimate performer, not just in his ability to deliver comedy, but also, quite frankly, in just his physical stature. Vern was tall. He was extremely well built. He was, as I said, magnificent. There's no other way of describing it. And I learned a lot from Vern, or at least I learned from who I wanted Vern to be. And that's one of the things that I also explore in this blog. What ultimately happened to Vern, really don't know. After a couple of seasons, he sort of disappeared and really never heard from him again, which in and of itself is actually probably part of that heroic model that I also developed around him. In any event, I hope you do enjoy the blog. As always, train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.